Hello class, good day. For this video, we will be talking about functions. So first, function notation. A relation between sets of capital X and capital Y is a set of ordered pairs, each of the form coordinates X and Y, where small letter x is a member of capital X and small letter y is a member of capital letter Y. A function from capital X to capital Y is a relation between capital X and capital Y that has the property that any two ordered pairs with the same x value also have the same y value. The variable x or small letter x is independent variable and the variable small letter y is the dependent variable. Many real-life situations can be modeled by functions. For instance, the area of capital A circle is a function of the circle's radius, small letter r. So we have here, the area of a circle is pi r squared. So in this situation, A is a function of r because r is the independent variable and A is the dependent variable. So the value of our capital A depends upon the value of our small letter r. Definition of a real valued function of a real variable. Let capital X and capital Y be sets of real numbers. A real valued function f of a real variable small letter x from capital X to capital Y is a correspondence that assigns to each number small x in capital X exactly one number in our small letter y in capital Y. The domain of our f is the set of our capital X. The number small letter y is the image of small letter x under f and is denoted by f of x, which is called the value of f at small letter x. The range of f is a subset of capital Y and consists of all images of number in capital X. So for example, here we have our image, we have our capital Y, and then yung nasa loob niya, that is called as range. So that is y is equivalent to f of x. And then we have here yung f natin galing kay x. So that is called as our domain. So this is our family of x's. So this figure means that the value of our y depends upon the value of our x. So therefore, y is a function of x. Functions can be specified in a variety of ways. In this text, however, you will concentrate primarily on functions that are given by equations involving the dependent and independent variables. For instance, the equation x squared plus 2y is equivalent to 1. That is an equation in implicit form. It defines small letter y, the dependent variable, as a function of small letter x, the independent variable. To evaluate this function, that is to find the y value that corresponds to a given x value, it is convenient to isolate y on the left side of the equation. So, ibig sabihin, ililipat natin lahat, y lang po yung ititira natin sa ating left side. So, we have here, 2y is equivalent to 1 minus x squared kasi nilipat natin yung x squared sa kabila, magiging negative, no? From positive to negative. Next is y is equivalent to 1/2 multiplied by 1 minus x squared. Ibig sabihin, nilipat natin yung 2 sa kabila, magiging divided by. So this form is an equation in explicit form. For the reason that y na lang po yung nasa left side natin. So using f as the name of the function, you can write this equation as f of x is equivalent to 1/2 multiplied by 1 minus x squared. So, pag y na yung natira sa ating left side, pwede na daw natin siyang palitan ng f of x. And that is called as our function notation. So, from our original equation, which is x squared plus 2y is equivalent to 1, this is implicitly defines y as a function of x. When you solve the equation for y, you are writing the equation in explicit form. In an equation that defines a function of small letter x, the role of the variable x is simply that of a placeholder. For instance, the function f of x is equivalent to 2x squared minus 4x plus 1 can be described by this form. f blank equals 2 blank squared minus 4 blank plus 1. So, ibig sabihin yung mga excess natin dito is just a placeholder. Naghihintay lang tayo sa value ng ating x. So, where rectangles are used instead of x's. For example, to evaluate, we have f of negative 2. Replace each rectangle with negative 2. So, evaluate natin. F blank equals 2 blank squared minus 4 blank plus 1. Lahat ng may mga blank ay papalitan natin ng negative 2. So, substitute natin yung negative 2 for our x's. We have f of negative 2 is equivalent to 2 multiplied by negative 2 squared minus 4 negative 2 plus 1. And then simplify natin. We have 2. As we all know, negative 2 squared is positive 4. Negative 4 times negative 2 is 8 plus 1. And then 2 times 4 is 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 1 is 17. So therefore, f of x na pinalitan natin ng negative 2, so f of negative 2 is equivalent to 17. That is our final answer. Although f is often used as a convenient function named and x as the independent variable, you can use other symbols. For instance, these three equations all define the same functions. So, ibig sabihin daw, class, pwede lang nating palitan yung variable x because that is just a placeholder. We have 2x squared minus 4x plus 1. Yung function name natin is f, si f of x. Independent variable natin is small letter x. For example, we have f of t is equivalent to 2t squared minus 4t plus 1. Yung function name natin is f. And then yung independent variable natin is t. Next, we have g of s is equivalent to 2s squared minus 4s plus 1. So therefore, yung function name po natin is g. And then yung independent variable natin is s. Okay, class. So let us evaluate our functions. We have here our example number 1. For the function of f defined by f of x is equivalent to x squared plus 7, evaluate each expression. First, for letter A, we have f of 3a. Letter B, we have f of b minus 1. And we have our letter C, f of x plus delta x minus f of x. That is all divided by the delta of x. So, unahin natin yung ating letter A. F of x is equivalent to x squared plus 7. That is our original formula. So, yung hinahanap natin dito, class, is f of 3a. So, sabi kanina, yung mga x's natin dito is just a placeholder. So, papalitan lang natin lahat ng x ng ating 3a. So, magiging 3a squared plus 7. Next is to simplify. So, lagay natin dito, f of 3a is equivalent to 3 squared, that is 9. And then a squared is a squared plus 7. So, as you can see, class, hindi na to ma-simplify ulit. So, therefore, this will be our final answer. Next, we have our letter B. F of b minus 1. So, take note, ang original formula po natin is f of x is equivalent to x squared plus 7. So, lagay natin f of b minus 1. Again, same process po kanina, papalitan natin si x ng b minus 1. Squared plus 7. So, evaluate natin to. We need to expand and use our FOIL method. So, we have b minus 1 multiplied by b minus 1 kasi squared po tayo plus 7. Ayan, so lagay natin f, o, i, l. Ibig sabihin first, outer, inner, and last. So, unahin natin to first. B multiplied by b is b squared. Outer, so that is b multiplied by negative 1 is negative b. Inner, so negative 1 multiplied by b is negative b. And then, last is negative 1 multiplied by negative 1 is positive 1. So, copy lang natin si plus 7 and then let us simplify this one. We have b squared, negative b, minus b is negative 2b. And then 1 plus 7 is plus 8. So by inspection, hindi na to pwedeng ma-simplify. So therefore, this will be our final answer. So that is our f of b minus 1. So our next problem class, we have f of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by delta of x. Take note that our original function is x squared plus 7. So, susundan lang po natin siya. Dito we have that is equivalent to, open parenthesis, sabi niya f of x plus delta x. Yung x natin dito, papalitan natin ng x plus delta of x. So, x squared magiging x plus delta of x squared. Then, yung plus 7 is plus 7. Tapos, minus. So, minus tayo. Close parenthesis. So, eto tapos na, which is this one. So, proceed na tayo dito. So, minus f of x. So, what is our f of x? Which is, eto, si x squared plus 7. Proceed tayo sa baba. That is divided by delta of x. So, copy-paste lang. So, next thing is, simplify natin. This one is, i-FOIL method daw natin siya. So, magiging, open parenthesis, x plus delta of x. Squared kasi siya, so bali dalawa. X plus delta of x. Copy lang natin lahat. Plus 7. Close parenthesis. Minus, eto, distribute lang po natin plus. Magiging negative x squared. Kasi negative times positive is negative. And then negative times positive is negative 7. Okay, sulat natin FOIL for this one na i-FOIL method natin. So, kumplituhin lang muna natin. Divided by delta of x. So, for this one, eto, first. So, that is x times x is x squared. Next is outer. X times delta of x. That is plus x delta of x. So, parang makakombine lang siya, di ba? Next is yung ating inner. So, delta of x times x is plus x delta of x. And then, we have our last, delta of x times delta of x is plus delta of x. Then, squared. Tapos, huwag kalimutan, may plus 7 tayo. So, copy-paste lang natin siya. Sulat din natin tong nasa labas, which is negative x squared minus 7. Divided by delta of x. So next step, combine like terms po natin, class. First one is x squared. Then, plus, eto, x delta x plus x delta x is 2x delta x. Copy natin, si plus delta of x squared plus 7. Then, ilagay natin siya sa loob, magiging negative x squared minus 7. That is all divided by delta of x. So, proceed tayo ulit. Combine like terms. We have x squared and negative x squared, so cancelled out. Positive 7 and negative 7 is also cancelled out. We have 2x delta of x plus delta of x squared divided by delta of x. So, by inspection, simplify natin ulit. We have delta of x. Meron din siyang delta of x. So, pwede natin siyang factor out. We have here delta of x. So, 2x delta of x. Ibig sabihin, ilalabas natin siya. So, 2x na lang yung remaining. Plus, delta of x, ilalabas natin. So, squared siya. Ibig sabihin, dalawa. So, meron pa tayong remaining na delta of x. That is all divided by delta of x. Pagkatapos, again, simplify. So, cancel out is 2x plus delta of x. And this will be our final answer. So for our next topic, that is the classifications and combinations of functions. The modern notion of a function is derived from the efforts of many 17th and 18th century mathematicians. Of particular note was Leonhard Euler, who introduced the function notation y is equivalent to f of x. By the end of the 18th century, mathematicians and scientists had concluded that many real-world phenomena could be represented by the mathematical models taken from a collection of functions called elementary functions. So yung elementary functions natin fall into three categories. First one is algebraic functions like polynomial, radical, and rational. Second, we have trigonometric functions. We have our sine, cosine, tangent, and so on. And number three, we have exponential and logarithmic functions. So class, the most common type of algebraic function is a polynomial function. Given yung kanyang general formula, which is f of x is equivalent to a sub n, x raised to the power of n, plus a sub n minus 1, x to the power of n minus 1, plus dot dot dot, or continued, no, plus a sub 2, x raised to 2 plus a sub 1 x plus a sub 0. Where n is a non-negative integer, the number a sub I are coefficients with a sub n, the leading coefficient, and a sub o, the constant term of the polynomial. Take note, if a sub n is not equal to 0, then n is the degree of the polynomial function. Ibig sabihin, yung pinakamalaki na exponent will be our degree of its function. So here we have f of x is equivalent to a, that is 0th degree. So that is also called as constant function. Next, we have our f of x is equivalent to ax plus b, that is our first degree, because the exponent of our x is 1, so that is also called as linear function. Next, we have f of x is equivalent to ax squared plus bx plus c. That is our second degree for the reason that yung exponent na ating x is 2, and that is also called as quadratic function. Fourth, we have f of x is equivalent to ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. That is called as a third degree because yung ating exponent ng ating x is 3 and also called as cubic function. So for our next slide, we have two functions can be combined in various ways to create new functions. For example, we have letter A, f of x is equivalent to 2x minus 3. And letter B, we have g of x is equivalent to x squared plus 1. So for example here, we have the sum of functions that is f plus g of x. Ibig sabihin class, i-combine daw natin yung f of x and g of x. So let's try to solve this one. That is equivalent to, also known as f of x plus g of x. So therefore, copy natin, f of x po natin is 2x minus 3. Lagyan natin ng open and close parenthesis. Plus, g of x po natin is x squared plus 1. So evaluate natin class, combine like terms. So x squared, ilalagay natin sa unahan kasi siya yung pinakamalaki yung degree. 2x, isusunod natin, so plus 2x. And then, negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. And this will be our final answer. Next, we have the difference between our functions. So we have f minus g of x. So, ibig sabihin, class, yung function ng ating x daw minus the function of our g of x. So, substitute natin, we have f of x is equivalent to 2x minus 3 minus g of x natin is x squared plus 1. So, take note for this one, class. Ilabas muna natin sila sa kanilang mga parenthesis, magiging 2x minus 3. And take note, etong negative will be distributed sa loob. So, magiging negative times positive x squared, negative x squared, negative times positive 1 is negative 1. So, common mistakes. Kung i-copy mo lang, negative x squared tapos plus 1. So, you need to distribute talaga. So, therefore, next step is to combine like terms and to rearrange. So, we have here negative x squared tapos plus 2x. And then, negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. This will be our final answer. Proceed po tayo sa product of functions. We have f times g of x. I-write natin, we have f of x is multiplied sa ating g of x. So therefore, lagay natin, f of x po natin is 2x minus 3 multiplied by our g of x, which is x squared plus 1. Again, ang gagamitin natin is FOIL method. So FOIL. First is this one. 2x multiplied by x squared. Magiging 2x cubed. Diba? Lagay lang po natin x raised to a multiplied by x raised to b is equivalent to x raised to a plus b. So we have 1 plus 2 is 3. So, naging cube siya. Next is 2x multiplied by 1, which is our outer. And that is equivalent to plus 2x. Next is inner. Negative 3 times x squared. Magiging negative 3x squared. And last is ito. Negative 3 times positive 1 is negative 3. So, next thing is, i-rearrange lang natin, class. Magiging 2x cubed, then minus 3x squared, tapos plus 2x minus 3. And this will be our final answer. Last is our quotient of our functions. So, for example, we have f divided by g of x. Or, rewrite natin, we have f of x is divided by g of x. So, substitute natin. F of x po natin, class, is 2x minus 3. And then that is divided by x squared plus 1, which is our g of x. And this will be our final answer. So, take note, class, ha. Common mistake is kina-cancel out. Ang ginagawa nila is x, then x squared. So, cancel out, magiging 2 minus 3 divided by x plus 1. So, mali po yan. Again, pag polynomial tayo, ibig sabihin meron tayong mga operation in between them. So, hindi mo siya pwedeng i-cancel out kaagad. So, therefore, mali po yan. This will be our final answer. And that's it for our functions na topic. See you again sa another video. Have a nice day po.